We're on episode 6. That means we're almost done with season 1 of Heaven Official Blessings. And also, I'm having issues with it. Okay, so one of the reasons why it's not coming out till today was because I was having issues watching it. Am I the only one where certain parts of the episode, it's like the quality would diminish and the subtitles were just unreadable? Like, I couldn't understand what was going on very well, and I'd have to kind of just like pause and like relook at it like, what am I looking at here? Now, I wasn't watching it on an illegal site or anything. I wouldn't do that. I want to support, the show. I'm using the Funimation app to watch it. I'm watching it on their site, Like, why can't I see what's going on at times? I experienced it a little bit with one of the other episodes at one point, but not to this bad of a degree. It's like the poorest of quality. I can't explain it. It was not fun. And I expect more of Funimation. Hopefully, it's just my internet. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But, yeah. Hopefully when I watch it dubbed, whenever that comes out sometime this upcoming year, that won't be a problem either. But at least when it's dubbed, I don't have to read the subtitles. Because sorry, I'm yawning. Because, then I'll at least know what's being said. So, it takes away, especially since it's such a beautifully animated, show, that it just takes away from it, in my opinion. So, I don't know. But with that being said and my complaints out of the way, let's talk about the episode. I like how the start of the episode is not from the perspective of the main characters, but the old man. I thought that was kind of cool how it was like opening up and we were kind of seeing what he was seeing. It was like a really cool, I don't know if it's a unique perspective, but it was definitely a fun perspective in my opinion. And then shortly after that, he starts freaking out because, he doesn't want to go back. And he knows who Song Long is. I also like how XL turns and looks at Song Long and he's like, what? And he just shrugs with this smile like, what? And then he takes his chopsticks and is like, makes a circular motion by him. I have to say, the guy's crazy. Oh my gosh. I love Song Long. I love him so much. The dude claims that he's the only survivor of 60 people that survived this death pass. And Song Long is like, this is bullcrap. And it is. I really love the scene during his story where Song Long and XL exchange a conversation quickly and silently with just, their eyes. It just really shows how easily they play off each other and, click. They give him a bowl of water and they're like, drink it. And he acts really frightened and like he doesn't want it. But like, oh, but you just survived the desert. You have to be really thirsty. But of course, he can't drink it because he's not really alive. He's a puppet. He has no organs. So he fakes drinking it and XL calls him on it and pulls it away like, yeah, no. They have a scuffle, but Song Long quickly ends up throwing whatever that thing is, and it hits him in his foot, pins him, and he disintegrates, and the puppet is no more. XL decides he's going to go and ask the gods about this crescent path, the death path, because he used to go there at one point in his life, and it wasn't bad like that, But they're all having a party, and he was clearly not invited, which is rude. We find out that the wind god is back, and the wind god is just giving everybody free merits left and right. Look at all these greedy gods. They're all reaping what they don't even deserve, I feel like. And when XL tries to question them about things, they just barely glance at him and then pretend he's not even there, which I feel like must have really, really hurt his feelings. Like, it would hurt mine. I'd be mad. Eventually, he's told to not even investigate it. It's not worth it, and he goes back. So he gets back, and he decides he's going to go and investigate that pass himself. And Songlong quickly decides to, join him, of course, as well. Naturally, it's not an adventure with just 2 people. So, of course, more people had to join, including Nanfeng and Fu Yao from that Corpse Bride adventure that had happened previously. And they are not happy to see who is with him. They don't quite know who he is, but they aren't happy. And they are just sure that he is up to no good. And they're very protective of XL for reasons that if you know, then you know. So, why did I do that? Anyways, so they basically are about to start a full-on fight. And XL's like, guys, please, I just got this place in working condition. I'll have to rebuild this temple. And I don't want that at all. Please, just stop. Side note, I don't know what's more funny to me. Fu Yao's expression when he finds out that XL and Songlong have slept together, or Songlong's expression. Because one of them is just like shocked and just like, why? And disgusted almost. But then there's Songlong who's just like, yeah, I slept with him. Yeah, I did. What are you going to do about it? It was great. Best time of my life. We didn't even kiss, but I felt like I was already on third base. No, I reached nirvana just sleeping next to him. So they end up teleporting over to this whole other area. It must be great to be a god. You don't need vehicles or planes or anything. You can just draw an array and boom, you're in a new area. I'd like a piece of that. Anyway, so we get this really romantic almost scene of XL and Songlong looking at the stars. And there's quite a few moments, honestly, in this episode that just, took my ship and flew ahead. Flew? Ships don't fly. They float. I don't know. They moved ahead, forged ahead, and it was glorious. My next favorite scene is when they're in the desert finally, which is shortly after this. And everybody just looks so composed and just cool and fine, despite the fact that they're in the middle of a huge desert. And then there's the previously cocky Songlong, who is just dying. He is miserable. He's like, can't we just teleport there? And everybody's like, no, we can't. We can't do that. It uses up too much mana. We get our next shippy moment where he takes off his hat. XL takes off his precious hat. And he just carefully and almost lovingly puts it on top of Songlong's head. And it's adorable. I love it. And just watch him tie the string around his chin and everything. Songlong, however, doesn't really feel comfortable, I feel like, wearing the hat. So he stops him and he's like, no, you put it back on, I'll be fine. Even though I feel like he probably isn't fully fine. Oh, they're just such a precious pair. We get another fight scene between the subordinates and Songlong. And honestly, I feel like I'll be able to appreciate this scene a lot more once it's dubbed. Because I keep getting distracted during fights by reading the subtitles. Because it's hard on me. And I know it's a sin for you sub-only people, but I just feel like this scene is going to be really funny, even more so for me when it's dubbed. Hopefully they find really, really good voice actors for the subordinates. As Songlong goes to check out an abandoned shed, the others start talking and they're like, have you tested him? I feel like we should test him. And XL's like, I did test him and he passed everything. So unless he's a ghost king, he's... The other two still don't buy it. They're like, we're going to test him out. And we're going to see if he really is just a human. And XL's like, that's fine. You can test him. But you have to remember that he probably is just a young boy who's innocent. You got to be nice to him. You can't do anything hard on him, Don't be rough. And they're like, not really happy with that. Because I think they secretly want to beat him up. Probably. Look at him watch XL drink. Everything XL does is just perfection to him. I love it. Anyway, so this is actually around the scene where they also do 2 random tests. And they both fail miserably. The first test involved trying to get him to drink some truth syrup water thing. I don't know, like I said, the subs were a little off, so I was having a hard time reading in this one. Anyways, he goes back and forth, and he's like, are you trying to poison me? He's just calm on his bowl. Eventually, after Axel says it's not poison, he does drink it, but then he just says it's gross and then breaks it. So that obviously doesn't prove anything on their end. Next, they give him a sword, which is supposed to reveal the ghost or demon inside him. Again, really wish the subtitles were a little bit better. But he opens it partway, and then he's like, this is broke. And he gives it back, and the guy's like, this was not broke before. And he's like, well, you must have accidentally broke it. Oh, and then after that, I'm pretty sure we meet the wind god / goddess. This person right here has to be, again, it's been a while since I read that chapter, but I feel like that's who that is. If I'm wrong, you can let me know. Okay, this scene is honestly the most romantic thing I've ever seen. I didn't want to do still images of it because just like, look at what's happening. Look at the chest, the look away, the eyes, just the glances, everything about how he catches the hat, and he's like, oh, they're not breaking eye contact. Like, I had a minor geek out. It was the most romantic thing I had ever seen. The wind starts to really pick up, and a sand tornado thing appears and sucks XL up. And I really love how one of the subordinates says, Your Highness, like that. Like, it's like he slipped character for a second there. If you know, you know. And Songlong is like reaching out, just worried. And it's like, oh, I'm almost biting my teeth nervously, but I know what happens. So I'm not as worried as I would be had I been going into this area of it blind. And the episode ends with him throwing his bandage down to try to grab onto something, so he can, not fly away. But of course, as I mentioned previously, he has extremely bad luck. And instead of grabbing onto, like a rock or something, he accidentally pulls Songlong up. And I remember reading this part of the chapter, and him accidentally grabbing people, and I just laughed hysterically. So I was a little bummed it ended with just Songlong. So, and that was the episode. Sorry again, it took until Wednesday night for it to come out. But again, I've had issues with the episode. And I have to clip these myself, and it took a while. Plus, I was feeling really sick yesterday due to the medication I have to take due to my new health problem. So, yeah. But I will try to get out Actors Connection, hopefully Friday. But if not, it will be the next week. I promise to at least get one episode done a week. It's just sometimes I might not get both episodes in. And that's on me. So, but yeah. Anyways, make sure you guys comment down below. Tell me your thoughts on this episode. Let's all geek out together.